Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to turn your iPhone 14 money into millions. Now, that's how to turn your iPhone 14 money into millions. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to do it in a month, 6 months, or in a year. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It is possible, but it's going to be hard. But if you stick to it, you can eventually do it. Now, I'm going to be discussing two ways by which you can do it because I know that some of my viewers are in the United States or in Western Europe, and some of them are in places like Africa and then in the Far East, in Southeast Asia. So not all of the opportunities that are going to be available in the Western world are going to be available to you. So I'm going to break it down. So we're going to start with people living in Africa. A lot of people, the iPhone 14 is out, and there's a lot of craze, there's a lot of peer pressure. People want to get the iPhone 14. Most people are not going to be able to afford the iPhone 14. They take a country like Nigeria, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Scheme, NDIC, the corporation that runs the scheme, said that more than 89% of accounts in Nigeria have less, listen to that, than half a million naira. That's half a million naira. If you convert it to dollars, that's less than $1,000. So these are realities. So a lot of people in a lot of these countries can't afford an iPhone, but there's a lot of societal pressure to get the latest iPhone 14. So here's what I want to encourage you. Now, the iPhone 14 costs an average of $1,200, maybe a little more, but let's just take an average of $1,200. There's a lot you can do with that money instead of investing it in, yeah, it's an asset in a way, but it's an asset that's going to become a liability very quickly because by next year, if you buy it this year, by next year, it's going to be worth less than $1,000, probably about $800. And then as the years go by, the value is going to keep reducing. It's not going to keep increasing. So what you want to do, you want to put your money in something that increases in value. So let's say you're in Kenya. A lot of you in Kenya will live in Nairobi. I've been to Nairobi multiple times, several times. Some of you are, not very well-to-do, so maybe you might be in Kibera. Now, what you want to do, if you are able to gather $1,200, you want to go to maybe the Rift Valley or the Western counties and buy grain. You can buy rice, you can buy beans, you can buy corn, you can buy sorghum, you can buy millet. And then you bring them to Nairobi, you bring them to Kibera, you bring them to the markets, and then you sell them. I know for a fact because I've preached in Nairobi, I've preached in Kenya. I've had people, come from these areas that you can actually sell those grains for sometimes almost double the price as you can get from in the Rift Valley and in Western counties. And it's not just in Kenya. You can also do the same thing in Ghana. You can leave Accra, you leave Katako, go to the Western province of Ghana. If you're in Nigeria, you leave Lagos, you leave Port Harcourt, you leave Enugu, and then you go to places like the northern parts of Nigeria. You go to Kebbi State, you go to Sokoto, you go to Kano. And then if you don't want to go, if you are in Kenya, maybe because of the tension that is between maybe the Kikuyu and the Luo and the Luya, and you're also in Nigeria because of some of the issues that you're facing in Nigeria, what you can do, you have Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got Twitter, you've got friends who live in these places. You can form a partnership with them. They stay there, you stay where you are, they buy the grain, they put it in a train, they put it in a bus, and then you bring it to Lagos, you bring it to Port Harcourt, you bring it to Enugu, you bring it to Accra if you're in Ghana, you bring it to Nairobi, or you bring it to Mombasa. Mombasa is also a very good place in Kenya. And then you sell for almost double the price. You keep repeating the process, and voila, your money multiplies. And then it's easier for you to become, a millionaire in your local currency. Although it's going to take a while for you to be a millionaire in dollars. But that's how Dangote started. And Dangote is now the richest black African in the world. Okay, now that's if you're living in Africa. If you're living in the United States, do what Gary Vee does. Gary Vee right now is a multi-millionaire. I think he's worth something like $200 million. But Gary Vee, how did he start making his money, and how does he keep, replenishing his wealth? Gary Vee goes to garage sales. And every day in America, you have garage sales. Gary Vee, he goes to garage sales, looks at items, and then just buys them, and then he has an online store, and then he resells these items that he buys, and then he ships them to people. So you're living in a flat, you're living in a house, you're living in an apartment, you have space. Go to garage stores with that $1,200. Look at this antique item, buy it. Look at that a book, maybe it's a rare book, buy it. Look at this child's toy from the 1950s, buy it. look at this shoe, buy it, and then you put it on your online store, and then you sell to people. You definitely, you're going to get a market. It's the United States. You've got people with money, disposable income. You can do the same thing in England, in continental Europe. You sell, and then you replenish your money. It's going to take a while. Gary Vee did not become a millionaire overnight, but he is a millionaire. So here, that's what you can do. But don't go and dissipate $1,200 on an iPhone 14 because all your friends are having them, and then what you're doing is that you're eating your future. And then it's a terrible thing for you to eat your future because the future is a very, very unforgiving place. My name is Renan Mokri. If you've watched this and you have questions arising from this, put them in the comment section. My staff are very good at bringing those comments. They're going to bring them to me and I'll respond to them. But you got to remember, I do not have a WhatsApp forum, a Telegram channel, or a Gmail email address. Thank you for watching. I'm the Apostle of Prosperity saying God bless you.
But Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is